Hello. Welcome to a reading vlog. I have been going back and forth about making a reading vlog, and I always put on excuses about camera quality because although I have a nice Canon camera, it's really old. I got it around 2010 and it's really not meant for video taking. I got really good use of it taking photos throughout the years, and that's the camera that I've been making some of the sit-down videos with, but it really just has gone kaput and just does not want to record, and it's really a pain in the butt to record with. So by the time I get to the camera store here in Portland, which who knows when that will be, I've been putting off making a reading vlog, even though I've had so many opportunities and been wanting to do it. But I thought, you know what, I'll use what I got, which is my phone. So hello, this is what I'm going to be filming on. It is currently Monday, March 22nd, around 2 p.m. And I thought that I'll take you on a few days of what I'm reading this week and kind of what I'm up to. I have kind of a weird schedule. I have a lot of part-time jobs and a lot of random stuff going on. We also have some dear friends that are currently staying with us and living with us because they're doing a home remodel. So they have moved in, and the last 2 weeks have sort of been a transition with that, transitioning schedules. That's why I've been putting off making reading and book content, but I miss it, and I have been reading, and I don't just want to do wrap-ups and TBRs, so I thought, let's just try this reading vlog thing and see what happens. So, quick recap. This morning, I finished The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. This was a great book, and I'll talk about it in my March reading wrap-up, but I finished this. This was prioritized because of Women's History Month, which is March. Also, I've been a little bit overwhelmed with all the books that I want to read and that are on my TBR, and all the books that I prioritized for March because I was doing books for Women's History Month and the Taylor Swift 'Tis the Damn Readathon. There is a lot of prompts for that, and I've been trying to work out books for both, but I've been thinking about what books I want to read for the rest of the prompts and for the rest of the month. So Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier is the buddy read or the book group read for the Taylor Swift Readathon. So I want to read that. I was going to read this in December and January and February. So I want to read this, but it's a little bit big and I'm sort of feeling a little reading slumpy. So I don't know if I want to read this big of a book right off the bat after reading Diary of a Young Girl. So I just went to the library and I have a couple books. I have Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I read Everything I Never Told You in October of 2020 and I give it 3 stars. I liked it. So I don't know how I'll feel about this one, but I do want to read, or I do want to watch the TV show by the same title with Reese Witherspoon. So I've been wanting to read this book for a while and it's fairly short. The other prompt that I need to fill for this month is read a book recommended by a friend. The book I was going to read is Gilead by Marilynne Robinson, but I'm quite intimidated by this one and don't know if I want to pick it up. I feel like this one might put me in a reading slump because this is one of my closest friends' favorite books, and it's about a man writing a letter to his son. And that doesn't sound bad, but it just sounds like I could be potentially bored by it. I don't know. I'm just feeling intimidated by this one. I just don't know if I'm gonna love it. My other option is We Were the Lucky Ones by Georgia Hunter. This is a recommendation from Amy, my mother-in-law. She loves this book. This is a World War II historical fiction, and I just don't know if I want to jump into a World War II historical fiction right now. Another option for that prompt is Milkweed by Jerry Spinelli. This was a book recommended to me by my friend Jessica. She, I believe, read this in school, but this author is a Newbery medalist. I believe this is a children's book, so middle grade. It follows, I was just saying how I don't want to read a World War II historical fiction, but this is a World War II historical fiction. But it's a child's book and it's short. And I feel like I just want to read like a quick, short little book and not feel like intimidated or overwhelmed by it, because I've kind of been reading, I don't know, like I said, I was feeling a little slumpy. So I want to read like a quick read, and I have a feeling this will be a good book because it has all the things that I like. But this book is about a young boy who is a Jew and he lives in Warsaw. So, and then finally, I don't know if this stresses people out to read more than one book at a time, but I feel like I have been in a constant state of reading like 6 or more books at once because I read physical books and several different types of physical books, and then I also listen to different audiobooks. So, as well as those, which are physical books that I own, I am currently listening to and hoping to finish My Life in France by Julia Child. That I picked up because of Women's History Month. The other options I have are 84 Charing Cross Road. It is a book that I actually first heard about from another booktuber, forgot which one, but then Noelle Gallagher read it and she really enjoyed it, and it's short, which again, I'm really feeling a short book right now. And it just sounds fun. It's just these letters that are written to a bookshop or something along the lines of letters and books. So I feel like it's just one of those like happy books and a book about books, which all book lovers love. I feel like some more audiobooks will trickle in throughout the week, depending on which ones are available on Libby. I feel like I just have so many books that I want to read, and not just because I feel like I have to read them for the prompts or I feel like I have to read them for me to talk about something on BookTube. I actually genuinely want to read all of these books and want to enjoy them, and I feel like I've been picking up books that are very enjoyable for me. I haven't had a lot of low books or books I don't like that I had in January. So I'm genuinely picking up books that I'm really enjoying, and I want to read them all. I just literally just don't have the time. I feel like I have so many books I want to get through. So I just remembered I actually have one more book. One more book I'm reading this week. The Imperfect Disciple by Jared C. Wilson. I'm about halfway through. I'm reading this as a buddy read with my dear friends Lily and Ina. We're reading this together. We read a chapter a week and then we meet up and talk about it and discuss things. And this is a really good Christian nonfiction so far. We are in chapter 6, so I have to read chapter 6 by Wednesday, but we meet up and talk about it, so that will be read, one chapter will be read this week. Anyways, that is a very long intro, and I will check in with you guys once I am sitting down doing some reading or doing some other activities throughout the week. Lexi. No, don't bite me.
Lexi.
Hey, that's not very nice of you. No, that's not. That's not what you need to do. Ow, I'm trying to show you affection. It's only been a few minutes since that first intro clip, but I currently have about 20 or 30 minutes till my husband and I are gonna go work out outside in our barn gym, and I want to read. I'm in the mood to start a book, so I'll be starting Milkweed by Jerry Spinelli, and it should be quick. Maybe I'll even read it today in one sitting, but I have my water and I have my new favorite thing, which is my heated electric blanket that I'm loving because I'm always cold. Just a quick little recap of this book as I read, I don't know, for about 20-30 minutes, and I got to page 40, chapter 9. This is a middle grade, I believe. It's written in like vignette form from the perspective of this little orphan boy in Warsaw, Poland, as the Nazis are occupying Warsaw. He is an orphan and he finds himself with another like group of orphan boys, and he's runs around stealing food to eat, and so far that's kind of been the main story. He doesn't remember his family or who he is, and it seems like he doesn't know a lot about what's going on, so he has this older boy that he's staying with kind of teaching him how to survive. So far, I'm really liking it. It's a really easy read, so I'm glad I picked this one up. It's obviously quite sad. It's basically just like the terrors of World War II, but from the perspective of a child, and a child that doesn't really understand what's going on. So very interesting so far, and I'm excited to finish that. But for now, I'm gonna get my workout clothes on, go work out with my husband, and it's leg day, so time for squats, which are my least favorite thing. just saying a quick good night here. I ended up, after working out, having dinner, making Rice Krispie treats, watching a movie. We watched 12 Years a Slave tonight, which was so good, so hard to watch, but so good. Highly recommend if you haven't seen it. That was such a good movie. I didn't do much reading besides the clip from today, but I'll do some reading before bed, maybe another like half an hour, and I'll probably continue Milkweed tomorrow as well. But yeah, just gonna say goodnight and I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, good morning. It is Tuesday, March 23rd, around 10:20 a.m. I am in my car and I'm about to go to work. I work part-time at a tax and accounting office, so gonna do some tax stuff today and got my Starbucks this morning to get me through the day. I get a matcha green tea latte. I'm kind of really into a matcha mood right now. I feel like I really want to buy a matcha whisk and matcha bowl and the powder, make matcha at home because it'd be a lot cheaper, but for now this is the closest coffee shop on my way to work, so that's why I go to Starbucks. I did read last night a little bit more of Milkweed. I'm about halfway, or just about halfway, and it's really good so far. I realized I missed that it said teen on it, so I don't know if this means this is a teen book or kids book. I'm not entirely sure. It's reading a lot more like a children's book than it is like a young adult book, so I'll probably read more of that today. And I'm almost done with My Life in France by Julia Child. I listened to it in the car on my way to work, and I think I have about 2 hours left, but I'm listening to it at 1.75 speed, so it shouldn't take 2 hours to finish, so hoping to get that done today. But yeah, that's my reading plans, and besides that, just gonna be a boring day at work until the late afternoon, so I'll see ya around then. I'm excited for this evening though, because a group of my friends and I were meeting and having a backyard outside birthday celebration gathering, so I'm excited to see some people and hang out this evening and have a good time. I'll talk to you guys later. So we had a really great evening with our friends tonight. We celebrated Paul. We had Rice Krispie treats. Those are the ones that me and my friend made yesterday, and they're very tasty. Brendan has been brushing his teeth for bed. They were really good. They're dairy-free and gluten-free, because we have some people who can't have those things, so they turned out excellent. Yeah, I didn't really get much reading done today. I thought I was gonna read more, but time just slipped away, and I was at work way longer than I thought I was gonna be, so I am gonna have a lot more time tomorrow, and I will vlog through what I'm reading tomorrow, but hoping to finish some books and start some new ones. So I will keep you guys updated on that. But for now, good night. Good morning. It is Wednesday, March 24th. I just had my cup of tea. I watched some videos on YouTube and I did a little bit of reading this morning. I'm off to work at one of my other part-time jobs, but it's only gonna be an hour or two, so not very long. Then the rest of the day I plan on doing more reading, and I'm meeting up with my friends Lily and Ina today to talk about our book that we're reading together. So agenda is work, read, see some friends, hopefully more reading. I have so many books that I want to finish, and I'm determined to do it, so we'll see. It is a gross day out today. It is your typical Oregon spring where it's rainy and cold and freezing and everyone is sad because the sun is not shining. But besides the bad weather, I am parked and I'm about to go to work, but I wanted to just give a quick little recap. I realized I'd never really even talked about what My Life in France by Julia Child is about. I mean, it's sort of self-explanatory, but it was originally recommended by Literally Overflow on Bookstagram and Anne McNulty on YouTube, so it was on my list of books that I want to get to at some point. And as I was thinking about the books I want to read for March for Women's History Month, this one made it onto the list. So that's why I picked it up and why I'm listening to it. I have about half an hour left, so I'm definitely going to finish today. But this book follows Julia Child, and it's written from her perspective. It's her memoir and partially her life story about her time in France where she learned how to cook and she fell in love with cooking, and her story of writing the cookbook Mastering the Art of French Cooking. And overall, I'm really enjoying it and have enjoyed it. It's a great audiobook and a great listen. It's really fun to see this woman who changed so much in the culinary field and like really paved the way forward for a lot of women. She's a very interesting woman, and her husband and their world travels and their perspective on life is just, I don't know, it's really cool to read about. They're very spontaneous and energetic and happy and kind of just like life is an adventure, and I think that's cool to just hear that. There's obviously quite a few parts of the book that are a little bit kind of like in one ear and out the other when she's describing very specific French dishes and ways to cook them. I'm never gonna cook half the dishes she talks about, or she mentions the French name of a dish and it sort of just kind of goes over my head, but it's still fun to hear her story and hear her talk about that kind of stuff. So it's a good book. I'm thinking it's somewhere between like a 3.75, 4-star book. That's what that's about. I am going to go to work, do some invoicing and some QuickBooks and accounting stuff, and then I will check in with you when I am reading again today at some point. Don't mind the loud laundry noises in the background, but I'm finally sat down, got my heated blanket, and I'm going to do some reading. First book on the docket is The Imperfect Disciple. I need to read a chapter of this before I meet tonight with my friends. And then the other book is Milkweed. Continuing to read this. I'm still just a bit over halfway, so we'll see how far I get before I need to cook dinner tonight. You coming to say hi? She does this when I'm reading sometimes, and she just wants to lay on my lap. This is the times that she's nice. You want some pets and loving? You gonna come join us?
Yes. Hi, Lexi.
Quick recap of the day. I did read my chapter from The Imperfect Disciple. I went over to see my friends. We talked about it, and that was a good discussion and a good time. I didn't really vlog any of that because, I don't know, I was trying to be present. Didn't really want to think about vlogging. Then I finished My Life in France by Julia Child on my way over. Really enjoyed it. It was a really fun listen and good book about Julia Child's life and her love of cooking and the way she wrote her cookbooks. So that was solid. And I started 84 Charing Cross Road, which is a super small, tiny book, and it's like a 2-hour audiobook, so it's really small, but it is so sweet and wholesome. I got halfway through it and I'm gonna finish it tomorrow. And as you can see, I started a puzzle, so I'll work on my puzzle tomorrow and definitely finish that book and probably start another one. But it is about a woman in America who writes a letter to a bookstore in London on 84 Charing Cross Road, and it is their correspondence back and forth. So it's her correspondence with the people in this bookshop and their correspondence back, and they send her books, and she sends them like parcels of food and gifts, and it is so sweet and so cute. So I'm really enjoying it. Again, super short, but the audiobook is great because every single person has a different narrator, and they do a really great job reading the letter out loud. So I'm really enjoying that one. And that book fits the prompt in the Taylor Swift readathon to read a book with a number in the title. But yeah, that was my day, and I'm gonna get ready for bed. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, March 25th. It is about noon or 11:30. I am going to be doing some work in the honey barn today, but I'm working on my puzzle. I'm gonna hopefully finish this and finish listening to my audiobook. I was doing it with my friend, so we weren't listening to audiobooks, we were just listening to music. But I'm going to hopefully finish 84 Charing Cross Road, maybe start another audiobook, and still hoping to finish Milkweed today as well, so that I could wrap some things up in this reading vlog. For now, just gonna be working on my puzzle for just a little bit, drinking some tea, just had breakfast. That's the plan for the day. It's several hours later. It is now 7:30 p.m. and what I was doing, I guess I never explained, but my dad is a beekeeper and I work on the family farm too, and I do honey stuff, fill in honey jars, get them into stores and stuff like that. But I was prepping honeycomb boxes for this upcoming summer, so that's what I was doing for like 5 hours today. And then I had dinner and I showered, and while I was doing that 4 hours of honey box prep, I started listening to Ride of a Lifetime by Robert Iger, who was, I don't know if he still is, the CEO of the Walt Disney Company. I was reading that book because I needed to fulfill the Buzzwordathon prompt for the word time in a title of the book, and I originally was gonna listen to Secondhand Time by Svetlana Alexeyevich, which is an oral history of the Soviets, but that is like a 25-hour audiobook, and I was so not in the mood for that, especially feeling like a reading slump might be coming on. So instead, I decided to pick up this book, Ride of a Lifetime, and I'm glad I did. It's very interesting. I watched like the Pixar beginning documentary thing with my husband recently, and we really enjoyed listening to that or watching that. So this book got on my radar for some reason. I'm not entirely sure where it came from, but it was the only other book on my TBR with the word time in the title. So picked that one up, and I'm glad I did. It's very interesting. I mean, it's very much like a business book, and it's all about this guy working at ABC and then his kind of role in the Walt Disney World Company and everything that's going on there. It's interesting. It's a good like business book. So listening to that, I'm about 50% of the way through. Tonight, I think we, my husband and I and our friends who live here, we are gonna watch The Great British Baking Show and Somebody Feed Phil, which are both like wholesome and happy TV content. We've watched some like hard-hitting movies lately, like 12 Years a Slave, which was so good, but I feel like we're all in the mood for something like happy and light. So Great British Baking Show. Can't go wrong with that. Yeah. Oh, and I finished 84 Charing Cross Road when I finished my puzzle. That was a great book. I gave it 5 stars. I'll talk about it more in my reading wrap up for March. We're gonna go watch some feel-good TV, and I will vlog any other reading that might get done tonight. It is officially time for bed. I got to page 145 of Milkweed, so I have about 50 pages left, and I will definitely be finishing this tomorrow, ready for some sleep, and I will be reading more tomorrow. Good night. Hey there, good morning. It is Thursday, March 26th. This morning I painted my nails, which I haven't painted my nails in such a long time, so I was very excited about that. I am determined to finish Milkweed today. I have less than 50 pages left, and it's a pretty easy read, so I'm really hoping to finish that soon. The rest of kind of the plan for the day is to edit some videos and read, and my husband and I are going to go on a date tonight. We don't know what yet because stuff is still closed in Portland, but there's some indoor dining, so we might go somewhere to eat, so we'll see. That is the agenda for the day. Do some reading, do some editing, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm just outside taking our cat Lexi on a walk. She's basically a dog, so we do take her outside on walks. I don't know if we trust her enough to let her fully wander outside by herself, so that is why we join her outside. During our time outside, I finally finished Milkweed by Spinelli. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very solid middle grade book. I guess it's like middle grade, maybe young adult. I think it's classified as both in Goodreads. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna land on 4 stars on it, maybe 4.25. It's sad and heartbreaking, and yeah, it's this story of World War II Warsaw from the perspective of a child who doesn't really understand what's going on. But I thought that it was a very good and well-written story. To recap, I finished reading My Life in France by Julia Child. I enjoyed that, 4 stars. I listened to 84 Charing Cross Road, which I also loved and gave 5 stars. I started and am about 70% of the way through The Ride of a Lifetime by Bob Iger, who is the CEO of Walt Disney, which is a great nonfiction business memoir. Finished Milkweed. I will be doing more of these in the future. It's kind of fun to kind of vlog the week, so we'll see when my next reading vlog will be, but I am very hoping to buy a new vlogging camera soon, so the quality and the sound will be a lot better in the future. I'm just gonna end this video here. Thank you so much for watching, for tuning in. I will see you guys in another video soon. Bye!